And hello everyone, I'm Dan Lutz, and I appear to be the only one here for the moment. We'll see if Tank decides to show up. Now, we had actually planned on doing this earlier, and I've been online now for 3 hours waiting, and then my Zoom ended, and then I looked about, you know, uh, just a little while ago, and there was a message from Tank saying it was busy, but he didn't say whether he was coming on or not. He says he was trapped, couldn't get online. Freaking crazy day. So I do not know what that means. Does that mean that he can't still get on? Anyway, I said, well, we're not going to really be able to do the what I had planned to do because Tank is not here. But and see, my dog is making some comments. But this is the final battle, T-4. And so I have a water gun fight here. Those are really tumultuous battles. Who's going to win? The one that has the most water. That's the key. The more water. So hooking up to a hose in an ever-ending supply is a good way to go. I had rigged a gun that way once before, one of these super soakers. Just a little augmentation. added some connectings and some fittings, and sealed it with some pipe putty. Oh, those were the days. But in our battle between the light versus dark, the light will win. We're keeping it light-hearted as much as possible. So we're looking out and seeing that it's hard to get a real fix on like what is the news of the day, because it's the same thing, right? It's the same news. Some little detail here and there, but it's the same news. And what is the news? Russian collusion was a hoax, and that Obama was responsible for conducting it from the Oval Office. Well, maybe some little interesting bit of news from yesterday. It may be, they're them talking about Flynn coming into the White House, and they had this impromptu meeting. The FBI was just sent over there to kind of like, see what's going on, and he just fell into a perjury trap. Oops, you told us something that wasn't true. I'd still like to know what that was. What did he say that wasn't true? What is the lie? He lied. He perjured himself. It may be that it wasn't really about that. It may be that there was actually a FISA warrant on Flynn. Ahead, well, FISA order, sorry, not warrant. FISA order to allowing them to investigate him as a U.S. citizen, and that's FISA is for foreign surveillance, right? So you have to meet a couple criteria, right? That basically says you're breaking one of the laws of the United States in dealing with a foreign entity. That's basically the only reason you're able to get a FISA order for spying on them. So, but they also have something that's calling you're unmasking the name, right? You're outing them. Who is it? Who is it? Who was the one? Well, you have this transcript. As the FBI came in with a transcript, knowing exactly what Flynn said, looking to compare notes. He said of instead of the, whatever. No, I don't have no idea what he allegedly perjured himself on. He did say something to the Russians in regards to lobbying for Israel. A veto on on something come up before the Security Council. I don't know. As National Security Advisor, do you think maybe that might be something that he's supposed to be doing anyway? So, as Bill Barr says, a lot of people admit to a crime that is not a crime. Yeah, I plead guilty to lying for something that was not a crime. To give you an example, if you're basically having a lie, it has to be what is called material, right? You're lying about something material. The guy came in, to rob the place, right? And he basically took, this, and that, right? And then you give a report to the police, and you basically say it was a rainy day, and it was actually sunny, but he took this, and that. So you lied about the weather. It's not really material to the crime, right? So it's not really technically against the law because it's not material. So whatever Flynn did, it wasn't material. But why were they there? To catch him in a perjury charge. Why? Well, one of the reasons is they didn't want him to be. They didn't want him there because he was asking questions about the STEELE dossier. Question: where did this come from? Now everybody knew it was garbage, and he knew it was garbage. So he's asking, where is this going? Now, if that just blows up and that's gone, they have nothing to build all of this conspiracy theory about Russian collusion on. So they had to get rid of him. But what other reason was there to get rid of Flynn? Because he'd find out that they had a FISA warrant on him since October. So he was under investigation, already by FISA. So this would also be a reason why. What was his crime? What collusion was he doing with a foreign government and doing something? What was it? What's the evidence? There's nothing. That's why they had to get him on something else to justify that they had him under surveillance. So, all these details are coming out, and we're going to continue to see more and more of this happening. Slow little drips of information. Did we know this before? Yes, we knew this before. It was in this document, in this testimony. It's a massive amount of information, and people picked up on it and say, "Well, this is unusual." They had him under surveillance in October, right? But it gets bypassed by so much other information. It takes the time to kind of realign things, put things into chronological order, say who did what, when they did it, and they say, "Whoa, why did they come in at this time? What was the reason? Because he was already under surveillance, and there was no justification for it. Felony. Is it treason? No, probably not that. Other things are." So the focus has moved around to where they're focusing also on Obama now, right? So that's the drumbeat that we're hearing. It's a little rift out there going. Right? We're hearing it, get louder, and the reporters are asking Trump, "So what is his crime? What is Obama's crime?" And he doesn't answer. He says, "You know what it is." Well, he answers, but it's not the answer. He's not saying treason, dun dun dun, right? He's not giving them that, right? Because he doesn't want to give them that kind of headline. He says, "You know what it is." So he's, Trump is playing these guys like a fiddle, right? And they really don't know what they're going to be able to do to make things move forward. So their agenda is gone, right? They can't. How can they even say Russian collusion anymore? How can they actually do it? With Flynn is exonerated. They have nothing. All of the 53 reports that were sealed by Adam Schiff, He wouldn't let them out. Well, I've seen the evidence. There's obvious, what was it? Obvious evidence. And he kept repeating that about he's seen the evidence. They've seen the evidence. They've seen. Where is it? It's supposedly in these 53 sealed testimonies from these individuals. All the high-level people, Susan Rice, Clapper, Brennan, McCabe, all of them, just all of them, saying there was no evidence, and they said it under oath. When they go out there on the programs, with the talking head programs, they give a completely different story. So why are they allowed to lie that way? Why? It seems like if they're supposed to have credibility, how can they come out there and lie about in consort with the press, repeating them? It is not just controlled opposition; it's infiltration, which is the other theme that is coming about here. Infiltration. It's just not infiltration of the media, right, with the leftist. No. Why else are they always in sync? Everything that they say, word for word, is being repeated in little tiny community news channels to big cities. Why is it word for word the same thing? Because they're given the script. They have a teleprompter. These are just faces that are hired to read a script. It's all acting. It's all wag the dog. It's CIA, right? It's all CIA infiltration. Operation Mockingbird, still in operation. It is the infiltration of CIA into the Democratic Party. Now, is this a battle against the CIA? No, it goes deeper than that, right? It gets to the rulers of the world, right? This is where there's the disconnect with a lot of people, right? Is that they can only see the government level, right? They can't see beyond. Can you say, well, there's people with money that can control the politicians? Okay, let's leave it there. We don't have to go more deeper than that. But they've orchestrated it into, say, 6 media companies. Back in Reagan's time, I remember that they allowed for all the media companies to consolidate, right? Which was argued as a bad thing for free speech. And it has been, because there is no free speech. The only place there is in channels like this, where people get to talk, but now we're being censored. We're being hemmed in, a digital fence around what we say. Unless we have people come in and try to find us, they won't find us. That's why we have to go over to BitChute, which is the plan was for today. Was that we were going to do a commercial. We were going to shoot this early. We're going to do have our conversation, and then move it to BitChute and do kind of a commercial for it, at the end, and say, okay, we've posted it, it's over, and this is what we talked about, right? And that way, we still are having a presence on YouTube, but all the bulk of everything is over there. And then we can suggest to everybody, and everyone, please do go over there and subscribe. The information is down below, the first line underneath this video. Please go down there and click on that. Go over and register for BitChute. You'll find lots of great things over there on BitChute. So please go look. So this suppression of this free speech is done, right? So we have the controllers that have infiltrated the media, and where else? Again, CIA infiltrated the politicians. They put people through the CIA, and then they say, "Oh, well, you're out of the CIA now. You go and run for office over there," and they get support, right? And that's infiltration. And it's not about CIA being American, part of the U.S. government. Its headquarters is in Switzerland. Hello, not Langley. So and then you hear about different CIA, 2, 3, and 4. How? What? What does that mean? It's got layered, or is they separate autonomous bodies that are out there just wreaking havoc around the world? What does it mean? But what we do know is that it's not doing good for what the Constitution of the United States of America is all about, right? It's not freedom of the people. It's not there for the benefit of the people. Yeah, great people in the CIA, I'm sure, right? But how about the ones that are going out and going into politics or going into the media? Why is this okay? Why is this is corruption of the political system, right? It's a foreign body, right? It's a corporation, just like the FBI is a corporation, just like the Federal Reserve is a corporation. These are just entities. They were assigned as an agency. They've set up, because it's not in the Constitution, right? It doesn't say this is it isn't the Department of Treasury. So this theme of infiltration has been coming through through QAnon and through a lot of the other alternative media talking about this, right? So this is the theme. We are being infiltrated. Have been, actually, game over, sort of. It's like in the last moment, when the last roll of the dice, it was about to be won, like, well, this is like, you get the end of the game of Monopoly, right? Someone has 95% of all the properties. You've got, like, Baltic Avenue. That's the only thing you got left, right? And there's almost, like, no way to get out of this, right? Except Trump comes in. The military has the plan. QAnon happens. And everything turns. And it takes us, 3.5 years to get to this point where now they're scared. Where you have Obama come out and start talking about, oh, it's really horrible that they're letting Flynn off of perjury. Number one, is that really a crime that's prosecuted? Ever? I mean, come on. I mean, it's subjective. You're lying. So what was that all about? He's nervous and he knows that stuff is coming. They've all got attorneys now, right? They're all lawyered up, all of them, right? There was one of the other alternative media sources up there. I caught a piece of where he gave a list of these are the law firms that they're all working with now. They're all ready. They're all getting ready because they know what's coming. Even Obama. So yesterday we were showing this little perp walk with Obama, with like Barr and Trump and Durham, right, walking them out. I mean, in the very beginning, you have Whitaker going and holding the door open, right, which is really Whitaker holding the door. It's kind of interesting. But that was prophetic. I think that's something that we're going to see, and with the same big grins. I mean, Barr has a wonderful grinning face, like the Cheshire cat grin. So, man, we'll have a very interesting time of it, going on with these next couple of weeks. I think we're going to see these things. When are we going to see Flynn back in the White House? That'll be a telltale sign, right? They're all going to freak out, right? Because how could they bring him back? He admitted to lying to the FBI. No. This is another thing. They keep holding on to this, and everyone knows that he wasn't lying. And if he said something that wasn't quite accurate, it wasn't material, and they were threatening to go after his son. And they already had millions of dollars of expenses, and he lost his house. I mean, when you say, okay, fine, I lied, just stop beating me up. But now it's all reversed. And that's good. I'm certain that Flynn is going to be getting his millions of value back, plus, right, damages. So, should be paid by these people that caused it, I think. Really. Alright, well, I don't see Tank coming back on. You know, there's something we could do. I could basically, invite you on. If anyone wants to jump on and you're in the chat room right now, just say you want to come on and I'll send you the link. Right? And you can come on and we'll talk. Other than that, what I'll do is go over QMaps and see what QAnon is saying, because I have not really followed up on too much there. Let's see. I'll start there, and then I'll check back every couple minutes and see if there's anyone wanting to jump on the line here. Okay. Oh, no, that's not the way I want to go. I forgot it's not here, so I can switch it around this way. There we go. So, what do we have? So, 4225. Well, that's the last one. So May 13th. So let's go back a little bit and see how far we have to go back. There's a lot of Q posts that have been happening, but we'll take a little bit of a run. We'll keep it fairly short. I'll just go back a couple of days. That's a lot of posts for the 12th. We won't go back so many days. 12th. Here's 11th. There we go. All right, we'll go back to the 11th. See how far the 11th goes back. A lot of Q posts. A lot of information coming. Oh, all right, that's the 10th. All right, 10. Oh, this would be 11th. So this is a redrop talking about the China virus. So I just want to, draw our attention to it. Well, let's not talk too much about the virus, right? We already know all about, what's its intentions, come from China. The real question is, how was it really ill intent as a weapon, a financial weapon against America, that China, let's just say, there's now evidence, this was brought up yesterday, that China had this happening in October. And what is that evidence? Around the Wuhan lab, they shut down all cell phone communication for days. They just shut it down. No communication in there in October. 2 months prior. Plenty of time to know, number one, if it was transmitting from human to human at that point. So that's really something to consider, I'd say. Okay, I'm gonna do something else here. 1 second. Let's switch this around. Let me change how I'm doing this, since it's only me on here. All right, and bring this over. How's that? I'm a little bit covered up, but it's okay. All right. Except I lost where I was at. Oh, I have to go all the way back a year again. 11th. This is the one. Okay. We'll go here. Okay, this is China again. So what we're talking. So since China it was obvious at that point, if you're going to shut down all telephone communication for days around the Wuhan virus epicenter, it would make sense that you would know everything you needed to know about it by December, and definitely by January, when they were saying it wasn't transmittable. But they did stop people from leaving Wuhan and going throughout China, but they allowed them to go to the rest of the world. By the tens of thousands of people left Wuhan and went around the world. Now I'm going to put on my average Dan hat and do some speculating. So let's say China's been in a war against the United States, and they had allies within the United States through infiltration. So the infiltration was already well underway. They were working with different politicians, and they were just working towards the complete dismantling of it and actually making America into a third world country. That was their plan. The virus spreading was part of that. It was being able to control the people, getting people under this. That's why they had all the social media companies there in China working to help them set up things so that they could monitor the people, give them social scores. So now that actually happened, right? Now that they were able to now monitor and give their people a social score. If they didn't like you, you couldn't get on the bus because you couldn't pay for the bus. Yeah, you couldn't travel. You couldn't buy food. That's, you're against them, you get starved out, right? So they were in that mode anyway of total destruction. Trump comes in, starts talking about trade deals. You're gonna have to work with us, and they say, oh, we gotta wait to get him out of the office, right? And then it starts looking like they're not going to get him out of office. So they now say, well, how are we going to do this? We need a pandemic to take down the world economy, and we'll be left behind to pick up everything. Because that is also still the plan, right? Cover up the central bank blowing up because it's fiat system. It can't keep going under this debt bubble. So it was the excuse to tear down everything. So October comes around, whether it's on purpose or not. I'll say it's on purpose at this point. Right? They're looking at it as an enemy, and from their actions, allowing people to go around the world and keeping it from going within China. That's a tactical move. It's meant to basically cripple the world financially. So they allow this to move forward. They cripple the United States financially. They cripple everyone. In the meantime, the United States has Trump there. He manages the situation. Everything's starting to reopen. And it looks like it's already happening, and that everything's starting to pick up again. And 2 weeks from now, it's over, right? There's no matter how many Democrat governors or whatever stay closed, they won't be able to withstand the pressure from their people. Look, Elon Musk sued Alameda and said, we're leaving California. We're done with California. We're taking all our jobs. Last car manufacturer to leave California, right? Can't be there anymore. One of the congresswomen says, F you to Elon Musk. That's really mature. Anyway, whether you feel about Elon Musk or not, if he's made the right move at this time, I go back and forth on Elon Musk. The AI side of things pretty scary. He's against it, but then he's like developing it. I kind of understand a bit of that. If it's going to happen, you might as well be in the game to make it happen in the right way. So, if I want to give any benefit of the doubt to Elon on that, okay, go for it, Elon. Elon Musk, is now in the game, right? Saying, okay, he's going to leave. So no matter what, the states are opening up. We're going to see now economic activity spring forward. Now, I believe that here in the Philippines, that 2 more days from now, we're at T-4, T-2. It should be open up here. On the 14th, they say no one can do anything. No one leaves on the 14th. On the 15th, it opens up. Okay, great. I want to get to the mall. I want to get a haircut. I want to go to a restaurant. I just want to walk around, and I'm not going to wear a mask. I know my wife will, but I can't convince her that it's protecting her. It's okay. But I see her touching her face with the mask on. See, it's not working. Mask is now defective. So back to China. So China sees this all opening up. What do? What happened just before this happened? Trade deal was signed. A two-parter. China thought, well, it's okay. We'll look good if we sign and we get a trade deal going and talk about respecting, intellectual property and all the rest of the stuff, and we're going to handle all these issues, and we're going to, buy a lot of food product from the farmers. Now, has that started happening yet? Maybe a little bit. But was it just that they planned on actually just not doing this because there wouldn't be any United States financially able to buy anything, right? There wouldn't be anyone going to work and making money. Everything was shut down. Trump would be out of office. Maybe they just made the trade deal just because it was a political move and they knew they wouldn't have to actually go through with it. Because what are they doing now? They're trying to renegotiate. Came out yesterday. Trump said, no, I have no interest to renegotiate. They made the deal, and they better uphold it. So, looking back. All right, let's move forward a little bit here. What's next here? A week to remember. It definitely has been a week to remember. There's so much going on. I don't know how to remember it, other than maybe documenting it through our videos here. Okay, fellow patriots, what you're about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control, freedom. The information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt, pure evil, abuse of power that Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There's no stopping it now. D5. Right? This is from May 10th, 2018. Right? 2-year delta. Right? It's begun, right? So they're doing this. This is QAnon, right? This is what they've been pointing out. The deltas, the times make a difference. And 2 years later, makes more sense than last year. Kind of last year, going, oh, it's begun. Okay. So that's why everyone thought they were going to be walked out and perp walked, right? Because we were talking about this stuff. Okay. So all right, stay the course and trust the plan. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave. We knew this day would come. Of course, it goes with YouTube link. WWG1WGA.love. We fight. Conspiracy no more. Q. That's on May 11th. So there we hash it. So the next one was for the Anons. So Q fulfills requests for POTUS, which is Trump, right? Q plus to tweet Obamagate as proof. So the Anons asked Trump to tweet it out, and he did. There we go. No link to it, but I'm sure it's there. All right, this one looks like it's so 4200. Recent transcript release confirms Deep State was using video game chats. Well, yes, we did pick up on that, didn't we? So let's see what they're saying. So initial Flynn Oleski leak was not to David Ignatius. It was to Washington Post reporter Adam Entras. Leak came directly from sources who saw the transcript and described it to Antonis from the Washington Post. So I have a little tweet here from Technophon. Well, you are the news now. Thank you, Walter Cronkite. And that's the way it is. Anyway, so I guess we're just not going to go through. We've got a lot to go through anyway. So now they're pointing out, okay, developing initial Flameresky leak was not too big. Yeah, we covered that. So it's talking. Oh, they're talking about. He's from the Washington Post. That's what this is all talking about. This guy. AEWP that was mentioned in this chat. All right, so they're using you remember back 2 years ago, it was like Xbox. They were all on Xbox, all chatting in these little private rooms, right? Keeping their comms, their communications private, right? Outside of the national defense grid and everything, because it's in the games, right? In these private areas, who can find you, right? It's invite only. How do you know? They're all in there with secret names anyway, so how do you know who they are, right? If you didn't know what the names were, how could you identify who's in there? It doesn't say it's Obama. It doesn't say it's Comey. It doesn't say, all these individuals that are taking part in these game chats. And then what happened to Xbot chat? They wiped it. And then Qanon said, doesn't matter, we have it all. Now they're caught again. Remember Comey tweeting out this stuff with Star Wars Legos? Right? What is he talking? He said, let's get on the chat in the Star Wars game. And now what happens? Oh, and by the way, Soros invested $40 million into the company that owns the Star Wars game. So hey, maybe some special chat rooms for them are set up or monitored, or extra tools for security. Who knows what this $40 million in investment buy you. So that game is now scheduled to be deleted, gone by middle of June. Why? Star Wars is not popular anymore? Is that it? No one playing? Or they just need to get rid of the evidence? Doesn't matter. They have it all anyway. They already knew you guys were already hanging out in the game areas and looking at stuff. So, all right. So let's the last part there. Proof, game chat logs discussions are legitimate. Source from closed doors transcripts. All right, let's see. Well, we know this movie is in play. Panic in DC. Enjoy the show. This is really, the full panic mode. Obama going on with 3,000 of his employees in his administration. There's 3,200 people on this call. What was he doing? Organizing his troops. Let him know that it's a horrible thing that they're letting Flynn off for perjury. So what is he trying to tell them? Right? How many of them are still in the current employee of the government? Question. All right, what's next? Okay, ex-Trump security aide Ezra Wapnick, who left controversy, rejoins the Pentagon. Oh, that's interesting. So he comes back in. Well, that's an unusual thing for Trump, right? People leave Trump because they're not really a revolving door. You're in, come do something, and they're gone. Unless you get some special part to play, right? Everything's part by part. So let's not follow that rabbit hole too deep. Let's see. Moving on. So Durham moving full throttle on Russian probe review. Top federal prosecutors involved. All right. So the key words are fun for the whole family. They farmed the investigation out because, and if this farmed is all capitalized, we're talking again, as I said, CIA. Farmed the investigation out because it was too much for Durham, and he didn't want to be distracted on all those sources told Fox News. Well, that's kind of interesting. Why would I don't see Durham? You just look at Durham's picture. Does he look like like he wouldn't want to get into something and get distracted? I don't know. I think he can't be distracted. If it's pertinent to it, he would go through it. All right, he's going full throttle. They're looking at everything. The sources told Fox News. Breadcrumbs were being dropped in the days preceding the discussion, and that case could be reconsidered. So, all right, so he's coming back into this with with new information being led. So it's all about dripping up the breadcrumbs, right? All of getting out this little drips, but it's like it's no longer like drip. It's now coming drip, 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 and soon it's just going to be a stream. And then they're going to really turn it on. All right. So what's this one? Obamagate on the top hashtag on Twitter post. So yeah, I think I heard that Twitter actually changed it to Trumpgate. I mean, how rude for Twitter to go in and interrupt one of the flows here, right? For Obamagate. Backed with numerics. Patriotism on the rise. People need to spark to reignite the engine. We're sparked, all right. Which do you want for president? The war is real. He fights for you. So can you see that maybe Donald Trump might have been, let's say, in the plan for this to happen, for Donald Trump to be in this position at this time? That's why I go back to Tesla's plan to save the world from the bloodline families. It looks like this is what that plan was, at least to me. All right, panic in D.C. So we're at 4206. Okay, panic in D.C. Nearly 2,000 former DOJ officials on a call for AG Barr to resign over a Flynn case. Okay. Panic in D.C. Well, that's really so strong support. What say do they have in it? None. No say. Go cry in the dark. Well, here's this quote from the Bible. So it's about the full armor of God. So this is basically putting out the truth buckled around your waist with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and your feet fitted with the readiness that comes with the gospel of peace. All right. So just reminding that this is going to be biblical, right? This is not half measures. That's why I think they're going after Obama. It's not half measures. Sometimes I was thinking, they're going to lead it up there, right? Drip, drip, drip. No, at this point, after what they did with this pandemic, it makes sense that it's now up at that level of Obama. You go right to the top. At this point, they've shut down the world economy. It's turned off through their fear campaign. Their fear machine turned up full gear, and it kind of fizzled. But it's up at that level. Full on, everybody's aware of what's going on now. Full armor of God. All right, let's see what's going on. We got another Trump here, huh? Oh, I don't know, maybe not. Movie clip from Law-Abiding Citizen is going to be biblical. Yeah, there we go. We won't go through that. Okay, so senators and representatives can be arrested for criminal offenses. Well, this is interesting to see. So everyone says, "Oh, we're immune," right? It's not true. Not true. So highlighting this. Okay, Article 1, Section 6, Clause 1. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall, in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance in at the session of their representative house and going to and returning from the same, and for any speech or debate in their house. They shall not be questioned in any other place. So, but it has an exemption there, right? Except for treason, felony, and breach of peace. They shall be free from arrest. So they shouldn't have to worry unless they're being treasonous, committing felonies. Seems like that's what's happening, doesn't it? All right, let's continue. So what is this? Another leak, huh? Okay, Q and the team just identified another leaker. Oh, there we go. Breaking, acting director of National Intelligence Richard Bernal seeks to declassify any Obama officials involved in Flynn's unmasking. Okay. And then another leaker. I don't know who is the leaker, but if we click on this, will tell us. No, it's just the same. All right. Well, that's good news. Moving on. Okay, 4211. Anons have the memes ready. Anons have the memes ready? It's a question. Q team about to unleash hell. Seems like it. Okay. The fewer rules a president has, the fewer rules there are for officials to break. Yeah. All right. I think we're ready. We are definitely ready. I just almost moved past this one. So, rain coming, bring the pain. We're ready and waiting to the go order, sir. Rain coming, bring the pain. You'll know when. Alright. So I guess it's the meme war time, right? Well, look at my background. You know, this is conveying an image. We're in the final battle of water guns, right? But in this case, it's no bullets flying. At least not many that we see. But we're going to be seeing that this battle is being won in a whimsical way. Look, we're using memes. How uplifting of a type of jovial type of war is this? What does the other side do when they see the meme? They go, ooh, the pain, right? All right, let's see what else we have going on this one. All right, so D-class, all right, that's a good one. Acting DNC Richard Janelle declassifies list of Obama officials who unmasked Flynn. Oh, there we go, the unmasking, like identifying them, identifying Flynn. That means they didn't know who was in this transcript. You know, with him talking to the Russian ambassador. How did they know it was Flynn? He had to be unmasked. And that's against the law. It's a felony. If it was not legitimate, that is. And it wasn't legitimate. So they're all busted. All right, let's go on. It's happening. Bring the pain. It's happening. Well, there we go. Is that the clue? We just went from the 11th to the 12th. Was that what happened here? So you'll know when. Was that on the 11th? No, it's on the 12th. It's only a little while later. So that was 7 a.m. and 9:49 a.m. Well, it says it's happening. I think that's probably more a general statement. I don't think we're saying, that's it. That's you'll know when. All right. Well, here's the Moab going to hit Comey. They're on the lonely road, standing on the edge of the yellow line. What did that mean? Trey Gowdy grills Comey. who had the power to unmask a U.S. citizen and capture telecommunications. We won't go through that. Comey is just being his arrogant self. All right, they have officially retained lawyers in Washington D.C. Oh yeah, that's the list that I was referring to earlier. We'll take a look. They are severely busted, aren't they? All right, so here we go. So here's Covington and Burling. That's actually the one that Flynn initially hired, right, and was the former Attorney General under Obama. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I just want to blank him out. He's a partner in this. All right. So actually, they're just talking. They're not saying who got who. These are just the best law firms. I guess that's all they're saying. Best law firms. Yes, the Punisher on blood. A video clip showing the media taking off their masks when the cameras aren't live. Okay. Let's see what that looks like.
Those demographics, no matter where they are, citing how important that is. She also touched on Lollapalooza and the...
Yeah, get this bigger. Let's see. People of African American people, some people did not. What? People of African American.
Those demographics, no matter where they are, citing how important that is. She also touched on Lollapalooza and no decision on that. Those demographics, no matter where they are, citing how important that is. She also touched on Lollapalooza and no decision on that. Those demographics, no matter where they are, citing how important that is. She also touched on Lollapalooza and no decision on that. Those demographics.
Okay, I really don't get what that's all about. Explain to me why the media takes off their mask when they think that the cameras are off. Is it all for show? Well, probably. It looks like the rules only apply to... they're not social distancing. That's what that's all about. They're hanging out together, next to each other, side by side. So where's their social distancing? Where's their mask? It's down around their face. Oh, he's wiping his face with his mask. That's a good one. I get it now. All right. Yeah, it's all a show. These guys. Okay, California Democrats using COVID to deny your rights, push vote by mail, and bail out massive debts. Yeah, well, we knew that they were going to do this. We don't really need to go into this. There's going to be a court challenge on the what these states are doing for the mail-in ballots. Right? It's too much fraud. So House Dems unveil coronavirus. Oh, and by the way, the Ninth Circuit has been turned, right? So California going to the Ninth Circuit on this point, and there's more judges coming, and there's more judges coming, and there's more judges coming. All right, House Dem unveils coronavirus bill estimated at $3 trillion. They want to up the game, right? We'll add another 3, right? All right, so more than $3 trillion package, about $1 trillion would go to state, local, and tribal governments, according to the 3 sources briefed on the proposal. Now she wants to write a $3 trillion bill, but no one able to see, no accountability, no input from McCarthy. Hold Fox News on Monday. I mean, it's not how. This is not how democracy works. This is a real concern to all of us. This won't ever become law, but it'll be the wish list of the liberals to try to change the election law, fund Planned Parenthood, and make sure sanctuary cities get a chunk of the money. Coordinated or consult with California 3-month extension. We want to give a 3-month extension on what? Coordinated or coincidence? well, coordinated. The whole thing was coordinated. Nancy Pelosi held off the impeachment to the date of the first case, patient zero for the U.S. arrived. You know, is that a coincidence? No. She knew what was going on. This is why it's an attack. It is literally an economic warfare at one level, and primarily an economic war, but using still there's death of our elderly. I mean, it's horrible. All right, what else? All right, so D's keep postponing reopening the country and economy for political reasons. God bless America, we're being attacked from within. That's it. That's definitely it. Excellent. All right, white cameras are off, so are their masks. Yeah, there they go. They're so phony, aren't they? Okay, Dr. Fauci, the overwhelming majority of people recover from this virus. Okay, let's take a look. Fauci also testified remotely to the senators, and Rand Paul gave him a good whipping. You sent us, all right? We were supposed to work. Look here. All right, let's just keep going. Okay, what else? Okay. Anonymous, May 13th. This is 4224. Swamp Judge Sullivan will allow public comment on Flynn case. Okay. Why doesn't he just release it, right? He's going to draw this out more. Because they don't want it to end, right? They can't let it go. Given current posture of this case, the court anticipates that individuals, organizations will seek leave of the court to file maculus cursus brief. I don't know how to say that. Briefs pursuant to local civil rule 7.0. Right. I think it's amicus curiae. And amicus curiae, defined as a friend of the court, does not represent the parties, but parties only to benefit of the court. So Obama must be there then, I guess. Right? That's what's going to happen. No, he's not going to show up, but he's going to have his people. That's the point of the phone call, right? Organizes people. He's bringing in, 3,200 people, or however many people it was. Someone said 3,200. That other Q said 2,000. So, what was he doing on that call? He's giving the marching orders. Get ready to, go in here and complain and bring your picket signs and make a stink in the news. Right? What else can I do? Pound on the door from the outside. Oh, there we go. We're right at the end of this. So let's see. So hydroxychloroquine, number of prescriptions exploded in France. Well, that's worth looking at, right? Plecanil. How do you say that? All right. Well, it's pretty good. So despite the warnings around taking hydroxychloroquine, what warnings? Let's just start off with that. It's like 99.9% effective. Well, maybe I'm stretching a little. 98% effective, and for people under the age of 70. It's something like that. So what's the warning? If you're okay, despite warnings for the people are elderly over 70 years old and taking hydroxychloroquine as only saving 92% of you. It's crazy. Anyway, I think we're good. I think we get it. That's the end of the Q post anyway. So let me just rewind this up here. Oop. All right. Well, Tank did not make it back on. So Right. I definitely think it's a good idea for us to get over to BitChute and start having our people go over there. I know that people just don't like to change. They always want to push off things for tomorrow what they'd rather do today. I just think it's a wise move to make it happen now, because otherwise it's going to take weeks of people, trying to find what's been going on. So just look at the link at the bottom of this video. So like the first line and the second line. There's a video posted there. Go watch it, give a thumbs up, and subscribe. And then take a look at BitChute. All the things you like may be already over there. I know a lot of the programs I like are over there. There's programs over there that I never saw on YouTube. Never. These people are amazing. Alternative media. It's really a breath of fresh air. Right? Tank said also when he went there, he said, "You're right." It feels refreshing to be there on BitChute. So I implore you, please go there, subscribe. Hopefully tomorrow we'll make another effort. Maybe we'll do it after we're done with the T-4, 3, 2, 1. And the final battle's over. Then we'll be on BitChute. Maybe we'll make that the goal. Anyway, we do have to start making that push. Go look at the video that I shot. It's a good interview. And we'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we will find out what's the current update going on there with Kim and what's going on with the National Assemblies. Let's see how that's going. I'd like to know what he was busy with today. So we'll see. All right, until then, tomorrow we'll see you.